Boom, hey guys, Charles Rudibaugh, I'm back. I've got a great training for you here prepped up. I got some notes right in front of me. And what I want to talk about real quick is how to really blow up a big event. It's all about the culture. It's all about your event culture. And a PBR is a little more simple, but a big event, there's a lot that gets involved. There's a lot that goes into it, right? Making it a great event, making it an event that's going to keep attracting people and growing the numbers. And it's when leaders stop following these rules is when the meeting stagnates and stops growing. And so, the first thing you have to have before you really have a productive event where it's going to make money for everyone and people are going to come and join and bring more people is you have to really have an others first mentality. So you have to have an others first mentality. You have to put other people first. You can't be going into this thing selfishly thinking about what you like and what you prefer and what you want to happen at a meeting. This is not about you. You have to put yourself second. You have to put the team first. You have to put other people's first and really have an others first mentality. And you have to really be at the same time, a participant observer. What I mean by that, it's a term I learned from my wife, who's an anthropologist, is you have to be involved and be there in it, participating in it. You clap your hands and you raise your hands and you're involved, but you're also kind of separate. You're also observing what's going on, observing this guy over here talking to this guy, and that may not be what you prefer. What's good? You got this guy, you see this guy try to sneak in, you're like, hey, we don't do that over here. You know what I mean? You see all these empty seats, and you want to try to corral people and usher people into those empty seats. You want to be an observer. You're a participant, also an observer. And so you want to be more of a thermostat than just a thermometer. So somebody directed you to this video because they want you to be able to start contributing more to the event. Maybe you're rising up in the ranks. Maybe you just went from garnet to jade. Maybe you went from jade to pearl. Maybe you're starting to bring a lot of people to the events and they want you to help make that contribution and make the event awesome. So this event just gives you this training here is going to give you a whole lot of tips. And the key is to be a thermometer, not just a thermostat, not just a thermometer. Right, a thermometer can measure the temperature, but a thermostat can change it. You can turn it up, turn it down. We can raise and elevate a room's energy and excitement and productivity by us being in it and participating. So here's a few things that we want to be mindful of that we all have to obey. It's not an ego thing here or a rank thing here. We all have to, from the bottom rep all the way to the guy at the top, from garnet all the way to in Team Fusion anyway, double red diamond, soon black diamond, and all the way up. Even black diamonds have to obey these rules or we don't have a meeting. So number one, showing up early, right? It's not helping your meeting if people are showing up late. So you want your team to show up early because you get them in the front of the line. If there's a line, there should be a line. That's a key point on here. Because you want to get them there early because you want them to know this is important. You don't want them showing up late. You don't want them sitting in the back. You want them sitting in the front where there's not going to be distractions. You want your people to sit in the front, right? Think about that. The front is where there's no distraction. Someone gets up and leaves early. You didn't see it because it was behind you because you're in the front row, right? You're getting direct attention from the speakers. You're totally geared in the further closer to the front that you sit. So you want to be early to get to the front. And by people being there early, it allows us to form a line. It allows us to form a line. So you can tell your guests, oh, this is going to be crazy. If we don't get there before 7 o'clock, we might not get a seat. Right? You can tell them there's going to be a line forming. We got to get there early to get spotted. There's going to be people paying and waiting in line to get in. It's going to be crazy. So you're building up the event and they show up and it's 7, there's already a line formed. You're going to build their excitement. Wow, this is crazy. They're already in before the meeting even happens. Now, if everyone's mingling around and there's no line, you're not going to have that added benefit of psychological warfare. You see? So you want them to get there and be excited. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. There's a crowd of people. They're all in line and we're going to get in line. We're going to get front spots. We want to sit close to the front. They're like, oh wow, this is crazy. I always like sitting in the back in school. But you're excited about sitting in the front. Right? So all these little things happen. And so, some people don't even show up to a DFY. We want to have early mentality. It's like maybe if you don't even have guests, you still want to show up to the event to get fired up and get plugged in. If you have guests, obviously that's where you want to bring people. But you should always have guests because we're doing PBRs during the week and working with our leaders. And so, but if you have a bunch of people and they're not waiting in line, if you're contributing to the non-line culture, you're not helping add value to the event, right? If the sapphire is going in and out of the room And just like, we want to show people that sapphires are key leaders and they're allowed to go in the room, but in the room is where the fun's happening. And if in the rooms where the fun's happening, why would they be like mingling and hanging around outside? We want the people outside to want to be inside. So we want the sapphires are allowed to go in, but they're going in to help set up the room. They're setting up the room. They're getting things coordinated, right? And so if they're not, because they're outside in line with their guests, but not just hanging around, mingling around, right? So you don't want to be one of those that's contributing to bad culture, right? You want to help raise the environment, raise the level of the meeting, and not cutting in line, right? Because your reps are there, like you want to get into line where you get into line. And so sometimes it seems like maybe sapphires are cutting because they're just going in and out of the room, or the room opens up, they go right in. But sapphires should already automatically be in the room. If they have guests, they should be in line with their guests, right? But they're not just going in and out, and we're not saving seats. So we're not letting people in early. We're not saving seats for them. You want to get in line and have line culture, right? When you walk in the room, there's all these seats saved. It's like people are thinking, why did I get here so early to get in line if all the seats I want are already taken? So that's not a culture you want to create, right? And having the room set up early. You don't want to be having, like, we have incredible leaders in our team that are setting these up early. Like, I remember doing that my first 2 years in network marketing. I remember for a year and a half driving around every week with all the sound equipment in my car and showing up early and taping cables to the ground. And I paid my dues. And so you don't want to have one person with that job. So to have proper room culture etiquette, we want to have maybe a room committee. We're teaching people these jobs, and everyone's rotating or contributing to helping create and set up the room, so it's not all falling on one person's shoulders. That's not okay. Saving seats, I mentioned that. I'm looking at my notes here. Edification of the presenter is key. We can't just have a speaker go up there and someone else who's supposedly a leader go up there and like wing it and like have this whack edification. We got to have a strong edification. So anyone who's going to be a host or a speaker better have their edification on point of the person they're edifying. They should ask specifically ahead of time and be clear. And that edification needs to be the best edification of all edifications going on during the week at the event, at the DFY. Right? Crowd participation's got to be on point. People believe more of what they see than they do of what they hear. That's proven, psychology. So when they see everybody nodding their heads, agreeing, watching and agreeing, they're all going to be excited. It builds excitement, right? When anyone sitting around me in a section gets excited because I'm participating, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I'm clapping, participating, raise my hand, participating, laughing at the jokes, participating. Everyone around me is in because of how I participate. And you might be like, oh man, Charles is crazy. He participates so much. Well, why do you think I do that? So you should get a clue too. Do it the way I do it. I'm not doing it for my health. I'm doing it because I want you to duplicate it too. I'm doing everything I do because it gets results and because I want it to duplicate. So that's why I'm always a great crowd participator, right? And so it's so much easier for the person up on stage when the crowd is being such an easy crowd, right? Isn't that always tough when you're speaking? You're like, man, tough crowd. Because there's no participation. They're like lumps on a log. So it's key that you're involved. And maybe write on your notes, nod your head. So every time you look at your notes, and it's like you nod your head. And then you look back down and you nod your head, you hear something, you nod your head. Just nodding your head all the time, participating. It's so easy to just sit there and like get stuck just being mesmerized and listening and like processing. But you can't do that. You're a black hole of energy. You want to be participating, getting the speaker fired up. They always keep wanting to come around back to you to make eye contact with you because you're smiling at them and you're getting them fired up, making them feel good, right? On the DFY flyer, the flyers that come out, we want to have on there, this is business attire, right? We really want to raise the meetings up. We don't want to have people coming who look like schlubs. You know what I mean? We want to have a high caliber, high class event. And so we're not going to like make people pay or something if they are wearing jeans or something, but we want to let them know that this is a professional event. And just let them know, it's okay, you're wearing jeans, bro. Next time you'll wear a suit, we'll fix it, And so we want to have that high level and we have that uncomfortable conversation if you have to with reps who aren't playing team, with reps who aren't on board, with reps who are showing up, they're not even wearing a tie. At my meeting, at your meeting, they're killing your meeting. They're killing your production. They're killing your energy. They're killing your income by showing up not wearing a tie. And then the person thinks they're dressed down, so then they think, oh, if they dress down, I can dress down. But the way I dress down is with nice jeans and a buttoned-up shirt. But then the way I dress down is way better than the way this guy dresses down. He dresses down, he's barely wearing flip-flops now and board shorts. And the whole meeting goes sour, goes the wrong way because people aren't having the right room culture, right? And it's not about if I want to wear a tie or not. It's about everyone wearing ties builds a better meeting and builds the culture, and I want to make more money, so that's what we want to do 5 days a month. And so, also it's the key having ushers and doorkeepers so doors aren't slamming. People walking in and out, we got to cut that out. And if someone goes in or out, we let them, we're not letting people in randomly. We're letting people in during the first half of the presentation only when there's a round of applause. So also training the first half speaker to give lots of opportunities for round of applause, and also training the audience to have lots of rounds of applause to participate. So we have a eruption of noise so we can open the doors up and let people in. But it's a distraction to the speaker when people are walking in the middle of them talking. So this is all pre-created here. And so that's the key. People, it's really distracting for the speaker when the crowd is murmuring and talking or, talking to each other, having side conversations when the speaker's speaking. So it's not edifying the speaker, it's distracting the speaker. So we want to cut that room chatter down to a minimum. No talk, hey, hang on a second, I'm going to listen to him speak, right? Also, adding too many chairs. You don't want to have 50 guests and you have 80 chairs out. You don't want to have 150 people show up and have 200 chairs out. That's what the sapphires are going in the room. If they come out, it's only to get a head count, but not let people see them counting heads, but just getting a head count, so they're going back in and removing the chairs so that there's 10 less chairs than there are people in line. And as more people come and they come late, we have to add more chairs at the end, which is a hassle. That's why we want people there early and waiting in line so that we can assess how many chairs we need. So then we open the doors up and people come in the room and we're like, oh man, we got to add more chairs. This is crazy. It's too many people. We got to add chairs. And that builds the excitement of creating an environment for enrollment of high energy meeting that's crazy and exciting. And people are like, wow, this is awesome. I want to bring people to this. And so that's the key. Next is not de-edifying each other by using slang term language at this event where you're like, hey bro, hey man, right? Imagine I worked really hard to get my guest there and to edify my leader. And I introduce him, Mr. So-and-so, this is John. John, this is Mr. So-and-so. And John's real excited to meet Mr. So-and-so. And then now Doug walks over to me and he's like, hey, what's up, bro? And walks over to Mr. So-and-so and is like, hey, what's up, bro? And Mr. So-and-so is like, are we bros? Like, I'm a Ruby in the company. But they can't be a jerk, you know what I mean? So, but that person walking over just de-edified them and ruined that whole setup that you created. And so we want to be mindful of that awareness. And so I'm not going to walk up to someone and be like, hey bro, yes, we're all humans, we're all equals, we're on the same level, but this person's a sapphire and you're a jade. It's like, hello, sir. This person's a pearl and you're still a jade. It's like, hello, sir. Wow, this guy's an emerald and you're still a pearl. It's like, wow, hello, sir. And so we're always edifying each other by using the surname Mr. and Mrs. that builds the culture and edification. So introducing your guests to the leaders, that's the key. And you introduce them and you edify, not just have them hanging around alone or letting them wander around alone. You want to get in there, introducing the guests to the leaders and have them make those connections. That's the key, right? Getting there before the guest shows up, and then when the guest shows up, introducing them to people, helping them feel comfortable. That's a key. And just think about this too, as a speaker, maybe on a training event like at a regional. The greatest sign of disrespect you could give to someone is by walking out when they come up to train. So I know when the speakers switch trainers and there's a break there, that's a quick opportunity for someone to go to the bathroom and come back, or go back and get a glass of water and come back. But just remember that every time if a new speaker comes on stage and people walk out, the guests don't know why. Maybe they're just going to the bathroom or to get a glass of water, but they don't know why. So if you really want to edify the speakers, it's like, man, I'm staying glued to my seat. It's going to build the value in the speaker if I can stay glued to my seat, right? Also, registration tables got to be outside. Sometimes there's a huge gap and a huge space, right, in between the last row of chairs, like the front of the stage, all the rows of chairs, and then a huge space to the back of the room, and you could put a signing table back there. But you're letting people in without even paying. Like, people want to be in and you're just letting them in. Like, you want to keep them outside and pay to get in, or sign the guest sheet to get in and then let them in. Now, if it's a regional, now we've got like 5 hours event, maybe you would bring the table in after the event starts if there's a huge gap in between. But if the last row of seats goes right up close to the back of the room, you're not going to bring the sign-in table inside anytime ever, because it's going to create a bunch of commotion and noise in the back of the room dealing with people that we want to keep separate and keep everyone focused. So that's a key. All these little things, right? Also, because we don't change what works. That's the key. The things start working right, and the meeting's going strong, and people are edifying, and it's positive, and they're showing up early. And the cars are parked up in front, all the white cars together, always parking the white cars together. Every time parking the white cars together, coordinating ahead of time to park all the white cars together. And then all of a sudden we start becoming the man. We're a leader now, and starting to change things or show up late or not wear a tie, get lackadaisical, and the whole room just falls apart because us as leaders, we're thinking of ourselves and what we like instead of what's best for the room. So it's important to come to the table wanting to contribute, not just coming wanting to get out of this stuff for us, get out of this thing for us, but wanting to give to the team. We don't change what's worked. So we also don't want reps leaving through side doors. Sometimes in hotel rooms, there's different side doors. You don't, I got to take a call. I got to run out through the side door. People just see you bolt out of the room. They don't know why. That's not good. So we want to use speaker time change to go to the back, but know that if you leave to the back of the room during the speaker change, you're de-edifying the speaker. So all the stuff, you're weighing everything, weighing how everything is, you're being aware of weighing everything, right? And so as a speaker, little things like this, like you don't want to have your hands in your pockets if you're the speaker or you're the host introducing the room. Don't put your hands in your pockets, and people, they're not going to want to trust you. It's proven with the speaker psychology. So that's the key. Also the culture of talking about premium pack culture and builder pack culture. We're not going to call it by the price that it is. No marketing company, no ad agency, no commercials ever going to call the product its price tag, right? You're going to tell value for it and say what it is and mention the price, but we want to call it what it is. It's the premium pack. People like premium. They want a builder pack. They want to build, but they love premium. But we not keep reminding them of the price over and over again. So also I think the key is in your sitting in your chair and participating is reminding yourself to really be, an impact player. Not just be on the sidelines absorbing and receiving, but be an impact player in the game, making a contribution, lifting up the room in how you're participating and not getting up and down, all these little things, and wearing your pin. One thing you can do to contribute to room energy and excitement. Imagine everyone's wearing their pins. They could all be jade and pearl pins, but if everyone's wearing pins, the guests don't know what pins they are, how many rubies or emeralds or diamonds there are. They just see everyone wearing pins. They don't know the difference between an emerald and a sapphire anyway. They just see everyone wearing pins. So you're wearing your pin, you're wearing your Team Fusion pin, you're wearing your promotion pin, you're wearing your potato pack pin. Everybody's wearing pins, and the new people are like, dang, look at all these people getting recognition and pins. I want to have some of those. I'll tell you, I got excited in network marketing, and I didn't know about promotions or how much money to make. I just knew I wanted a bunch of those pins. I was like, I want those. I want to get a bunch of those. I know that I got to get those if I want to move up. If I want to make money, I got to get a bunch of those pins. So how can I get that pin? It's like, okay, here we go. So people seeing the pins even creates the competitive juices flowing in the eagle mentality folks that are there that want to win. They see these guys wearing all these pins. They want to compete. So all these little things matter. And what you want to do is understand that going to this event, it doesn't exist without you. You're a critical role. You play a critical role in this event. And we not only need you to come to bring your excitement and enthusiasm, and you come to bring your guests, and so that you build the business and build your momentum in the event, but come to contribute your positive energy and contribute, what you can bring to the table, right? And if you're coming to the meeting and you're just thinking about yourself, and then at the end of the meeting, cornering the speaker, asking him a bunch of questions, taking them away, you're not thinking about other people. We want to think about how we can make an environment for guests to feel excited and get the information and sign up and enroll. And so we can do that. We can take things to another level. And in your marketplace, we probably already have an event that's kicking butt because we train on this stuff and we know how to do it in Team Fusion. But all of us can make adjustments. All of us can make improvements. And maybe someone's just sending this video to you because you already know most of this stuff and you probably do it all intuitively, automatically already. But getting a training like this just so that we leave no stone unturned, and that every new rep has had a training like this, so they're showing up, bringing their A game and contributing, we all go to another level. So thank you, God bless. I'm not just going to see you at the top. Shoot, with training like this, I'm going to see you over the top. Bye-bye.